my words distant and abstract or merely mental? Can you feel? Can you see? Is it that you want that, yes, I see that I'm not this, but I want it to go away. I want to go away. Unless you say this is really disturbing me, can you get rid of it? And then the one who is saying this is disturbing me, can get rid of it? This one will not be free. This one has to get rid of himself. Perhaps we expect something. We have an expectation that I should have a vision, or I should have, and it could happen. But whatever happens will pass also. Everything that appears in time and space and change. You are the witness of them. Sometimes I have asked, are you merely an object in front of the lens of perception, or are you behind the lens of perception looking, or are you both? You are the ones who are here now who can prove this. My father did not prove it. My mother did not prove it. So what are you expecting? What are you expecting from me today in asking this question?
Good morning. It is early and we're getting up and ready to head out with Terry in tow to my first ketamine appointment. So again, I'm going through all this preparation with Terry, and not only to be able to camp in Terry and not have leaks, but getting it expedited to go do 3 weeks, twice a week, ketamine treatment, ketamine infusions. Why? As they told me in the evaluation, I'm ripe like fruit for it. Just a series of events throughout my whole life that I don't process out. I internalize, and things become trauma. Small, big, or things happen to me in my life early on that I'm realizing are sticking around. And, oh, that's trauma. Oh, weird. Okay, yeah, sure. Just, a lot of us have childhood trauma. Lots and lots and lots of us. I'm no outstanding individual. I'm just sharing. I wouldn't mind speaking more detail about individual traumas, but I also want to secure some privacy in my life and others. So I won't, except for, things that shouldn't happen to a child happened, and then also just things I've been through in my own life. I feel like when you go through early childhood trauma, particularly I've heard sexual abuse, then it skews you off your natural course, and you seek accreditation or appreciation or love in the wrong ways, and then you find yourself not seeking it within yourself and seeking connection because you can't find it naturally with yourself, so you seek it probably in drugs and alcohol and early intercourse, early life intercourse, and stuff like that. Then, at one point in life, you realize getting set off track and engaging in all these wrong behaviors as a child or adolescent creates more trauma and more distress and more suffering. And so you seek more drugs and alcohol to cope with it, because that's what you found helped early on, coping with traumas that happened early on. Maybe the dynamics of your family, or you became an orphan, or whatever. I mean, so many things. But when we get off track and we start doing these abusive behaviors to ourselves and creating more suffering, it builds ruts. My understanding is it builds ruts in our brain that anytime anything happens, boom, we're back on it. Drinking, smoking, snorting, shopping, sex, addictions that we seek to cope. And it's a well-worn path in our brain. Ketamine is supposed to build new ruts, new paths in the brain. So it's really weird. I've listened to several podcasts about it, talking to the facility I'm going to. I'm ripe, I'm ready, I'm good candidate for it. I do have a little bit of apprehension in the way that I have made so much progress in my life and my mental status and my mental health in the last 8 months, even though it's been really crazy and really wild ride of just purging a lot of trauma out of my body in a lot of anger and rage and screaming fits, running around just screaming as loud as I can. I've been able to inventory these things that happened and to get a little more clarity and understanding and control. So I'm feeling better. And so I've had these progresses. So I'm in therapy constantly, and I'm on podcasts and learning and trying to educate myself, all while trying to survive life through it all in many transitions of myself. And then those things coming upon work, and you're changing and you're evolving, and then you're still trying to be stable at work. But it doesn't happen. Don't bring your shit to work. Well, yeah, but when it's affecting your life so drastically, it can slip in. So, raw emotions, here they are. It's just a lot of pain. I got off track, but made so much progress. And being in therapy, it's been rough, but there's still improvement. There's still evolution and changes and a lot of growth and stabilizing my mental health and starting to visualize my parts system, the self and the parts of the self. And we're on the bus, and I'm driving the bus, and my parts are on the bus, and I'm identifying and learning what they're about and updating them with new information, and they're going to have to keep moving along with me just as the bus rolls down the road. So here we are on this journey, trying to still have some treatment, even though I've been through addiction treatment, and it helped, but it didn't work. And I'm not saying ketamine is a miracle drug. I'm going to try it. I don't even know if it's even going to work. So we'll see. But that apprehension, I'm back to that, is wondering, because I have made so much progress, if I could just build the new ruts without it. And going to this appointment, I'm losing that opportunity to find out. So, in that regard, it's kind of a disclosure. I don't know what I'm doing. Don't listen to me. This is my option. I'm not saying people got to do this. I'm saying I'm doing this. And I'm trying it. Maybe it's just going to give me a little boost out of the old rut to help build new ruts. Because you got to still do the work. That's the work. You still got to stay and not like go back to old shit. But doing the work of learning how to identify what's old shit and what's new shit and why am I reacting to this, what this person said and what they did, or why am I taking it personally, or, you know, just all that. Is that old shit or new shit? Are you at threat? Are you scared? What's wrong? You know, like trying to identify with that part. Where's the part? Where's its seat on my bus? So we're driving the bus. I'm driving the bus. The self is driving the bus, and I got parts in the back, and they all have roles, and there's some that like to brawl and get up and defend at any moment, but they have to have like a safety guard in front of them to tell them, well, maybe you don't need to get off the bus to brawl. Is it a real threat? But to realize, not even that, but to realize like we're capable of having this package deal. We're each individual package of the self and the parts. It's cool. Shit. And ketamine, I don't know. This is cool. So I'm going to get going. Got to get out the door here in a little bit. See you soon. Just whipped up some tacos to go for the road. I can be such a slacker and procrastinate and just be like, oh yeah, I got time, when I don't. I gotta get going. Oh no, it goes in the truck. I must say it does work. I haven't found no mice. Ha! Mice. Poo in my vehicles since I propped the hood up. I tell you what, these little buggers can get into anything. They're teeny tiny. And they're all so cute, but I get mass. So I don't care really if I kill them. And I gotta keep them out of my vehicles because they'll chew up your wires and they can destroy your vehicle. So mice prevention. It's just a piece of board. Prop the hood up. Gotta get going. Terry Perry occurred and happened, and I'm so pleased and proud of myself and thankful for my friend helping me because of the patch that it needed. It wasn't straightforward. It was jacked up, but we got it done. When I bought the trailer, I was like, oh, no, I can't take that on. And then I'm like, you know what? It's time for me to not be so afraid of being overwhelmed, because I knew I'd get overwhelmed. Things overwhelm me very easily. But I wanted to take it on to like practice, I guess. And I didn't get overwhelmed. I like kind of got pissed. But I was like, I took it in stride and I did okay. And now we're going to hit the road. And so regardless of rain, it probably won't leak. It is pretty solid up there. There's a patch and butyl tape and roof tape and caulking. That's all I got to do is not leak. I doesn't need to be all fancy pretty. Not in my regard. I don't care. I just want it to roll down the road safe and not leak and help me in my life. It's becoming a tool. It's a tool for me to get out in nature more easily and not be in a tent, because I just can't sleep on the ground anymore. Like, even on an air mattress. This is comfortable. And it's nice to have. I don't like going somewhere and then like not having a place to like pull over and set up a tent. This, like, you could pull into Walmart. I mean, there's options, BLM land and shit. So it makes me feel I won't get overwhelmed. Like, oh my God, I got to find a place to park. Like, I can just pull over and sleep and eat and cook and take care of my dogs. Today, ketamine. Okay, gotta go. Again. My boots are made for walking the crap shit. Oh! Okay, whoops, let me get by this. Okay, that's good, right? Oh! Let's see. I mean, it might. If I could just log out of the meeting, I can, Oh, it's buried. Super annoying, but they have 3 settings. These are called Haycone, something like that. I bought from Amazon. They're pretty cheap, but they work great when I leave, because I'll come home and have like poo on my counters, and so they have 3 settings. Blue, nothing. That's supposed to put off an extra one. You can't hardly see it. And then red goes. I don't even know if I can record that. It's a distinct. So, anyways, hitting the road.
Okay, we ready?
Oh, yeah, good job. Good boy. Up. Boy. And up. Ah, good jobbies. Good jobby dobbies. Good jobby dobbies. Good jobby dobby 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 dobby. Good jobby. Tacos got cold. Oh. Might as well rock out. I don't know. I'm a little excited to go to this appointment. I don't know what to expect. I really don't. I have really no expectation. We'll see. We'll see. We'll see how I react. No expectations, no attachments. That's one thing that's come up lately, is no attachments. That's definitely helped. Actually, in the category of self-worth, because when we find ourselves attached to things like work, money, cars, whatever, obsessions, we're like dependent on that almost, and like that's where we identify with, and that shouldn't be. We shouldn't identify with those things. We need to identify with the self, and the parts of the self. The bus, my bus. It's great. It's a great system. You can have an airplane, or a box, or a train, a sea train, a storage container. I don't know. A balloon full of parts. Whatever works. Whatever works, whatever makes sense, whatever you can play with. I guess then, therefore, that is a bit of like identifying yourself with something. But it helps to understand and manage maybe some whys of why we do this, why we do that, why we feel that. You know, identify with those parts. But doesn't mean that is the self. The self is the intuit, the wisdom, the core of the parts. Like all the parts are, yeah. The self is in the driver's seat, the one to consult for wisdom and resource, just like the source, like the light, like your light. You could be like, that's your spark, that's your light, that's your fire, you know, like your power source, the power box, or whatever. That's the self. I have a part that is a nurse station where, like, when you're in school and you could go to the nurse because you feel ill. If I have an emotion that's coming up and it needs attention, then I can send it to the nurse station in the seat, a bus seat in the back. It's a nurse station. You can lay down and get coddled and recoup. I'm so weird, but this is so woo-woo-y and childish sounding maybe, but you know, I don't mind. I think it's a great system. It just lets me know, like, I can be self-sufficient in taking care of my own emotions instead of trying to seek outside self for that. Mwah. Bueno, that's the goal. I don't know this song, but I know Mary Chapin Carpenter, or who she is. Been around a long time. That's old school shit. Quitting time. To my work thing, I was supposed to like be working remote for just a short time once I get to my destination where I'm camping out. Well, RV park. It's not camping. That's not camping. It's like an RV park in a city. It's pretty much occupied by permanent residents, but they're it's a nice little park though. Nice little park. Clean. Very clean. And I personally have lived in RV parks for 2 years. In my 56 Bowls Aero aluminum shell. Yeah. Talked about that in the video I made when I first bought Terry. So this is my second vintage. That was older. That one was way old. Cute! I lived in it for 2 years in 2 different parks, and the first one had a lot of drugs going through, and and the guy that worked there, he was a royal piece of work and assaulted me, like physically, like verbally assaulted me while I was there. He was a dick. I didn't back down. I stood up to his ass. That was the second time I've been assaulted. These are 2 more traumas that are in there, and that's what ketamine is supposed to help with, is getting some closure or something. I don't know. I'm gonna find out. Terry! Made it home from first K appointment. What a trip it was. I tried to record my speech because I was like talking out loud and laughing and crying. Went to the toxic waste dump and spewed some shit and had some visions about like ideas, and then like felt like I was an infant at like, it was just really wild around and around. It was, my mind is so crazy anyways, probably, that's what it was doing. It was just a little chaotic. Like crashing of memories, I guess, kind of going through a Rolodex really quickly. Crashing of memories of past. Parents bickering or being yelled at or being assaulted or just like aggression. There was like aggression that came out, and then tears, and then laughter from it. So kind of like EMDR. You can do that in EMDR. That can happen in EMDR. yeah, it was intense. But it was very cool too. Like fun. I was like, whoa, it was whacked. A lot of different wow around, and I can't really, I mean, it was a trip. It's an anesthetic. Puts you out. You're not out. You're awake. Like, I felt like I had control. But just the memory, like shit getting dug up. And just like really quickly. Not stuck on the thought and like, oh. And they say, like, have a word or a thought or a phrase of intent that you can kind of like link to, but not attached to. Just something, a positive intent, of course, but interesting. So first K appointment checked. Go again tomorrow. Again, tried to videotape it. I tried to videotape it, but I had my phone plugged into headset of some music I had picked out off of YouTube. They offer music there that you can link into, but I have one that is a sleep music for opening the pineal gland, and it puts me to sleep really good. And I sleep really good if I get to sleep with it. So I played that. And it was really almost like tied in with the lights on the wall that they project and they move, and it's like clouds, but then it's like this mural, this picture, this canvas picture on the wall of trees fogged in, or and then the lights moving across it. So they really set it up for you to like, whoa. And then at one point, I think I felt like I just narrowed in on that center of that picture and just had this intense vision of what I need to do. But then coming out of it, you're like, how do I make that happen? How do I make that happen when I'm just like, I know what to do? I felt like I knew what to do. So they tell you to just be open to it, stay with a positive intent, but don't attach to it, and just go with it. Like, let it show you what it's supposed to do. Not expect it to do anything. You know. It was wild. Terry! I parked at an RV park in the town that I was in. It was only a few miles, so it was kind of convenient. I Ubered back and forth. And you definitely, like, after a couple hours after, I felt okay, but not stable. Like, I was walking the pups around. They're so wonderful. They just hung out in there. I got it all toasty warm in there before I left, and then just shut the electric heater because it was plugged in. So I have a little electric heater, and burned some propane because that thing cooks. That thing cooks me out of there. Warmed it up all toasty, and then just shut it all down so it was safe for them, and they were fine. They were great. They're so wonderful. They just snoozed, and that was the first time I'd really ever left them and Terry for that long. So I walked them for quite a while afterwards, and I was pretty wobbly, and I knew, yeah, you definitely want to sleep. But got up early and got out and got home. So we're home, and we go back again. Terry's a tool now. Terry's not just a camper. Terry's a tool. And I love that. I'm kind of excited to find out what more can occur in these sessions. Stay tuned. Oh, I guess one more thing. Because I asked the main doc there, Like, how does it like function to work when people are able to stop addiction? Like, I've heard it doesn't work for everybody, but some people do end up stopping drinking just naturally. I don't know. I haven't talked to those people, so I don't know. But I asked him about that. Like, I said, hey, I don't know, it may or may not work for addiction, but how does it work? If it does, and he's like, well, they're kind of still studying that, and but it's just it's like, my understanding, I can't quote him word for word, but what I gleaned was like, you break a bone, the doctor cannot fix that bone, but the doctor can cast it, fuse, do things to heal it, to get it to heal. And ketamine is like the kAST, and it heals the old wounds. And so just in that aspect, we don't try to cope otherwise with the alcohol or drugs or any addiction, to cope with something in us that is missing. There was, that just brings to mind, I felt during my session, there was this, up came this like strong sense of like, something's missing, like, but like I said, how things were going pretty fast almost, that kind of like came up, but then was gone again. So it's really wild. It was a trip. And, but then just feeling like, I know what I need to do, like, and crying and laughing and just not saying do it, but I'm looking forward to more. I still wacky. It's fun to be awkward. I don't care. I want to be awkward. I've always been awkward. I was always an awkward child, like, because I didn't really know who I was. I never knew who I was. I still don't know who I am. I'm still trying to like link up with her. We are just who we are. Terry did great. And even in the snow, got my new tires on the truck. Stoked. Taking care. Take care, y'all.